Hi, I'm Monique, and I'll be sharing my midwife-led pregnancy journey with all of you. With my previous 2 pregnancy and birth experiences being incredibly empowering and special, I realized that there's a lot of misconception regarding midwife-led care, and a lot of women who want natural births don't choose midwives because they just don't have enough information. So I hope that by sharing my story, I can help a few women make an informed choice regarding their prenatal care and birth options. So thank you for joining me as I share my midwife moments.
This is the cervix.
Okay.
There is a placenta, so it's nice and high up.
Okay.
So here's our little one. That's the head there.
Okay.
That's the stomach. There's a heart, spine, and the legs.
Okay, so there's definitely a baby.
There is a baby. Yes.
So this pregnancy story starts at around the end of April when I took a pregnancy test and it came back positive. We were very excited, and I did a little something special to break the news to Niku. I was kind of sad afterwards that I didn't decide to make a video of the moment because his reaction was quite priceless and very special. Usually I would go then for a blood test to confirm, but because we were in lockdown and it was during a pandemic, we decided to just wait it out until we were able to go for our first sonar. That happened a lot earlier than expected because at around 7 weeks I started with bleeding, and we did have a bit of a scare regarding a possible miscarriage. It ended up being okay, luckily. So we did have a scan, which ended up being like a dating scan in the end. So morning sickness this time around was pretty rough. I had a hard time, a lot more than what my previous pregnancies were. A lot of nausea and vomited at least once a day. That has luckily also considerably improved now with the second trimester, and I kind of feel myself again and I am able to function. So it has been quite a different journey thus far. So how it works when you go see a midwife is you make your first appointment with midwives from 16 weeks onwards. Just before then, there isn't much to see or check, and it kind of gets you out of that danger period. Before then, you do go for a 12 to 14 week scan. So our first scan did happen a couple of weeks ago, and it was really nice to see baby growing and to see a nice big baby. It just kind of confirms everything and makes it really special. So here's a bit more information about our first scan and a little interview that I did with Maki afterwards. Is die nier waar al die afdrukjes maak van die baba se voetjies. So Jaco en John Robert is hierso en daar is hulle, die 2 boeties. Spasietjie vir nog enetjie om by te kom. Is al pas?
Ja. Oh, Monique. Hello.
Hi Maki,
How are you?
Good, and you?
Hi Maki, how are you?
Good.
Yes.
Okay.
It's because I had the bleeding.
I remember now.
Yeah.
And it was still very early, eh?
It was very early. It was like just after 6 weeks.
After 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I said the baby's coming on which day?
14th
Yeah,
Jan.
somewhere in early Jan.
I think it was 14th Jan.
14 there. Alright, you can come and lie, let's see.
Alright.
This is the cervix.
Okay.
There is a placenta, so it's nice and high up.
Okay.
So here's our little one. That's the head there.
Okay.
That's the stomach. There's a heart, spine, and the legs. Yeah. .148 beats per minute.
Okay.
We're not even gonna do the NT now. This crown ramp is giving me 14 weeks 2 days.
Really?
Big. So it means now it falls off because the NT is done between 11
Yeah.
and 12 and 13 weeks.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So baby's measuring almost 14 already.
14 plus.
Oh wow.
What does that mean? Late December, baby.
Early January.
Early January.
Yeah.
Still, okay.
Still January.
Yeah.
Still 2021. Okay, so that's good. So we have November, December, January.
So now I'm gonna measure individual body parts now.
Okay.
So the whole thing changes now. I'm no longer measuring what is called crown ramp length,
Okay.
but I'm measuring the head, I'm measuring the waistline,
Okay.
I'm measuring the femur length. So according to Sona, 14 weeks 6 days.
Okay.
The baby is coming.
Wee, third. Do you realize my birthday's on the 31st? So if baby decides to come...
Yeah, you might share with this one. You might.
A lot.
Yeah.
When is the next scan?
20 weeks.
20 weeks.
Yes. So 20 weeks,
We'll definitely know.
body parts are bigger now.
Oh, look, there's a nice profile.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
they're moving. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
moving, eh?
Oh, look.
We waited for that.
Hey, bye-bye.
Okay, my name is Pelo. So I did my matric in the Free State and there wasn't much really there. So afterwards I came to my cousin here in Joburg. So we were sitting and trying to figure out what is it that I wanted to do. But in my mind I honestly knew that I wanted to be a pharmacist. Anyway, I didn't apply on time, so now we just had to make a quick decision. So I had a gap year because I couldn't get accepted anyway. So the following year, that's when I decided on radiography, which I saw that past gap year. Then I got interested. So I came to study at Midwife, so I did my radiography there. Then after my radiography, I went to work in one of Johannesburg hospitals, one of the big hospitals there. So I decided to do ultrasound 2 years later. Yeah. With radiography, I honestly was not feeling challenged at all. I felt like I was just taking pictures for someone to read them. So I did ultrasound and 20 years later, I'm still enjoying it.
Wow, 10 years
Yes.
of doing this. Cool.
Okay, radiography is 3 years. So I did my 3 years in B-Red Diagnostics, and then I worked for 2 years, and then I did my B-Tech radiography in ultrasound, so it takes 2 years. Important ones, 12 and 20-week scans. On the 12-week scan, we do NT screening, we call it NT screening. So we do the nuchal translucency, which is the back of the neck. So we measure it, we have our own limits, then we are allowed to worry when it exceeds a certain limit. And then we check for the nasal bone and the size of the bladder. Then based on that, we can say this is probably going to be a healthy pregnancy. There's also tests which are done in conjunction with the scan, like combined trisomy 21 screening. So mothers will have the scan done and then will fill out the form, and then it will be taken to the lab where mom's blood is going to be used, and then her blood and the Sona findings will be used together to decide if mom is at higher risk of having Down's baby. And then the 20-week scan, it's mainly for structural abnormalities. So with 20-week scan, we look at the baby's body parts. So we can scrutinize each and every body part and see if they are normal. If they are not normal, then we will tell the mother that there is something which is worrying. Based on what it is and where it is and how it looks, we can also maybe say to mom, maybe it is best if you go for further management and other tests to exclude chromosomal abnormalities and stuff like that. It's not about it being a fancy thing to do. It's a very important medical tool.
Okay.
Yes. Medically, no. It does not mean that if I don't have a 4D, I cannot do my work optimally. I can still do my work optimally, but it just makes life easier, especially with looking at some facial features, some limbs. You know, if you get them in a nice view and nice position, it's easier for you to exclude things like clapped feet, you know, clefts, you know. So it's just an additional tool that is making life easy.
Okay.
I will see things and then I will advise you based on what I'm seeing. I will advise you to go and see a doctor because I suspect that this could be this could be that, and maybe you should go for further testing and management. Sometimes as a human being, you also need second opinion. You know, you just need someone to say, yes, this is right, you were saying right, or no, you know, don't worry too much, it's nothing. It helps. Yeah, it's just a question of having a team to work with.
Thanks, Maki, for allowing me to interview you. I think she actually mentioned something pretty important, and that is working as a team. Midwives only take low-risk pregnancies. So when you go for that first scan, before you even see a midwife, it kind of is the first markers on whether you are low risk or not. Should there be any indication that there are abnormalities or high risks, you'll probably be referred to a specialist or a gynecologist. Even if there isn't anything that is picked up then, and you do decide to go for blood tests and everything looks fine then, midwives still work with a team. Even later in your pregnancy, you're advised to go and see a backup gynecologist. There's always a backup gynecologist that's on call during your birth. And even the midwives during your birth always have someone there as a backup. So it really is about working as a team. And it's what makes this option the best option if you want to go natural, because you'll know from the beginning that you have chosen the path that will really work out the best for you. So I hope this helped. I hope it was interesting. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to find out what it is that you guys have questions about. And then I look forward to seeing you on our next episode, which will be about our first visit with a midwife. Thanks, guys. Bye.